Hi, Mac. Welcome to, I'm just going to do a little short yoga session here. We'll do what's called an awakening series, so welcome. Thanks for joining me. Mac may come in and out of the picture. I don't know what he's going to do, but first we're going to do just a little bit of a warm-up just to get ready for your favorite, which is hip opening. So first we're going to come down the floor in a quadruped position. So if you find that quadruped really bothers your knees, you can double up your mat or put an extra mat underneath you. So just coming down onto the floor, making sure that the knees are hip width apart and that the hands are, your hands are right underneath your shoulders and shoulder width apart. So you've got this nice, it's called a quadruped. So from here, just we're going to do what's called wag the dog. So Mac introduced this. Yoga has a lot of dog stuff in it. So Mac's really happy about that. He thinks that that's really good. So here you're just sort of getting a feel for what's happening with your lower back. How things are going on, what's been happening, where you may be carrying tension or where you may have been neglecting yourself. Sometimes you just have to be a kind version to your body. Okay, now that you've done this a few times, do it with more intention. So really push the hip towards that elbow. And now if you want to get a little bit more out of this, look over your shoulder. As the hip comes to the elbow, look over that shoulder and then switch. And switch. And switch. So you're keeping your abdominal muscles a little bit engaged. So you're not just letting them flop down like a saggy thing. You're sort of keeping them a little bit tight, like somebody's going to grab you and tickle you a bit. Let's do a couple more of these. One. Last time. Here's two. Now cat curl. Tuck the belly button towards the tailbone. Towards the backbone. Tuck the tailbone in and under, and chin to chest. So really focusing through that tailbone, through the belly, and then release through the tailbone, through the belly, and the chest, and the head comes last. Tuck it in, tailbone first, tailbone tucks in, belly button tucks up, chin to the chest. And reverse, tailbone releases, belly releases, chest, and head. Again, tuck it in, and release. Good. Okay, so taking one hand, place it behind your ear, lift it up, look underneath. Hello. And now take the elbow to the outside of the opposite knee. Lift it up, look underneath. Push with the other hand a little bit if you want more rotation. Bring it to the outside of the opposite knee. Lift it up, rotation, and elbow to the outside of the opposite knee. Now this time we're going to come up into rotation, looking up. Now bring in underneath or just release the hand right through and come down on your shoulder. Right, just letting your head rest on the mat. And just feeling that spiral through the spine. Now that you're a little relaxed and we're in spinal rotation, very rarely are you ever in this position. Take the hand and place it palm down, the one that's on the floor. You'll feel a little different through the forearm. Slowly up, quadruped, tuck the tailbone in and under, cat curl. And that release. Tailbone, belly, chest. Other hand, fingers to the ear, lift the elbow up, look up, under your arm. Now bring the elbow down to the opposite knee. Lift up, rotate, and elbow down to the outside of the opposite knee. Lift up, rotate, and elbow down to the outside of the opposite knee. Reach that hand right through. And you can use this hand on the floor to just apply a little wee bit of pressure if you want. And being very careful, making sure that you're working within your own range of motion. Tension, not pain. Palm of this hand now goes down. Getting a stretch through the forearm, through the spinal column. Breathe. When you exhale, it allows the body to relax, to release. You may feel the tension change in different parts of your body. As certain parts release, other parts may be a little tight. Slowly come up, tuck the tailbone in and under, release, old horse or cow, cat curl, and release. Neutral spine, so you've got the abdominal muscles slightly engaged. Tuck the toes in and under. Now just float your knees off the mat. So we've got a little bit of core engaging through here. Good. Press back into Crouching Tiger. So Crouching Tiger, you've got your knees bent. So it's sort of like a downward dog, but the knees are bent. And now we're going to walk the dog. So press one heel down, then the other. That noise is my dog crying. I think it's the music that makes him cry. And just sort of feel this as one goes down. You can lift the hip up towards the ceiling, so you're engaging a little bit through the low back, through the core a little more, through the obliques. They're tight. Now back into Crouching Tiger, look between your hands and bring the right foot up to the right hand. Taking that left foot, you might have to scooch the left foot back a little bit, just to get into that nice lunge. So if you're finding this difficult, you can lower the back knee down, but you want to make sure that this knee is directly over your ankle, not ahead of it. So you can be a little bit behind, but not ahead. So if you've got the legs straight, try and relax that hip of the straight leg, relax it towards the mat. Lower the back knee down. Release the toes and relax. And breathe. Again, remembering that exhalation. Good. Now take the same knee that's bent, take that same hand to the outside of the knee and rotate and look behind you. So you're looking over the same shoulder as the leg that's forward. Lift the arm up towards the sky. Reach, reach, reach. And now take that hand behind your back. Drop the fingers towards the floor. Draw the shoulder away from the ears. Breathe. Slowly uncoil. Take the hand to the inside of the foot. Bend the elbows. Straighten through that front leg. So you're trying to pull the crease of your hip back. Keep the toe pointed. Slowly release. Bring that foot back. You can scooch it back, walk it back, take your time. Place the toes together and knees are still hip width apart. Push yourself back into child's pose. So this child's pose, we're going to place our hands underneath our forehead. Give your hips a little shimmy. And now exhale, breathe and relax. Slowly up, back into quadruped, neutral seat or cat curl, release into old horse, cat curl, old horse. Neutral spine, engaging through the core, tuck the toes in and under, float the knees, hold and breathe. Push back, Crouching Tiger. Bring the left foot forward to where the left hand is. You can scooch that right leg back. Relaxing the right hip towards the mat. Option to drop that knee down if you wish. Again, making sure this knee is not ahead of the heel. Mine was a little bit ahead there. I'm just going to scooch it forward. So take your time. Make sure you get your positioning proper. Drop the back knee down. Uncurl that toe. Take the left hand to the outside of the left knee, turn and look behind. Hand up towards the sky. And take the hand behind your back. Draw the fingers towards the floor, drawing the shoulder away from the ear. Slowly uncoil, place the hand to the inside of the foot, bend the elbows, pull the crease of that left hip back. So you're getting a really nice hamstring stretch here. Breathe. And slowly release. Take that foot back. Open the knees wide, nearly hip width apart. Put the toes together. Push yourself back into child's pose. This time, placing your forehead on the mat. Creep your fingers forward on the mat, way out. And now relax your elbows towards the mat. That just brings it into your lats. You may feel this right into your low back once you relax those elbows down. That's a muscle we're trying to target. Breathe.
Exhale, relax the belly, relax the low back. Let all the stress, all the stuff just go. Slowly up. Walk it in. Back into quadruped. Tuck the toes in and under. Push back into crouching tiger. Walk the dog. And then just drop yourself down onto your hip. So we're going to go into my favorite. Everybody requests this. Every session I teach, I get a request for to do this like twice. And every time I teach it, I think I should nearly teach it every week. So we're just going to go into what's called staff pose. So your legs straight out in front of you with the feet flexed. So we're going to go into what's called an extended staff in between each movement series. So the movement series will have us going into flexion a lot. We want to balance it with extension because we do want to be open and strong in extension because we don't want to be tight in this type of position. So we're going to make sure that we do balance it with a nice opening series in between each movement series. So if some of these movements are a little complicated, a little too hard, you got some knee problems, you can come out of it. I'll try and show some alternatives. So with extended staff, placing your hands behind your hips, just lift the chest towards the ceiling, drop the shoulders down. So you're just lifting that chest up. So you're getting that nice open pattern through the front of the body. You may feel this right into sort of the front of your spine. And now release. Good. So to start with, we're just going to take one foot and place it as high as you can. And I have had this knee reconstructed, so I can't get this foot quite as high as I would otherwise. So you just, again, I can feel it in my knee. It's like, that's not a pain I want. That's not tension. That's like a little bit of a pain. So I just back it off a little bit. So I'm just going to, so you can come to the inside of the foot. If you want, you can bring it right up onto the leg. So either way, whichever's best for you. I'm going to take mine about here on the leg. The other foot I might get a little closer. So tall through the spine and then just hinge forward. So you're lifting out through the crown of the head. Try and keep the spine nice and straight. Try and relax this bent knee towards the floor. Couple breaths. And you may feel it in your foot. You may feel it in your back. I can feel this really in my foot and my shin on this side. And I'm really trying to relax that knee down to get it more into my hip. It's not happening. And release. Now extend staff. And release. And let's go to the other side. So bring that up either inside the leg and hinge forward, or you can bring it right up nice and tight. Make sure that this foot stays nice and straight. Hinging forward, keeping that nice straight spine, relaxing the knee towards the floor with that hinge. Breathe. Again, remembering that as you exhale and the diaphragm moves up, it allows the muscles to release and relax. And you'll find with these, if you do about 4 or 5 breaths with each of them, even 7 or 8 breaths, you'll find as you move through it, my dog is really finding this music sad. Mac. And hinge forward. Good, and back. Okay, now go into that extended staff pose. And one movement I probably should have started with, but let's go to it now and see how you're doing. This would just be a check. Cross your legs, and from this position, keeping your legs crossed, just come forward. So hold it here, try not to move. Just try and take inventory of how you feel in this position. Now everybody's gonna cross their legs one way that you're a little more comfortable with than others. So breathe here. Where's the tension? How far down can you get? As you exhale, you may find you come down a little further. It's amazing. Our muscles stop our movement at a certain spot. And that's what they do, is they break our movements. They stop movement, stop us from hurting ourselves. But if they become tight, they'll stop us prematurely, and they won't allow for full range of motion. So we're just trying to get a little more range of motion from them with this, by just sort of convincing them that, yeah, you know what, you can stretch this far, it's okay. Slowly up. Now cross your legs the other way. It's going to feel a little foreign, I know, but again, you want to take inventory of how this feels. So come on down. Oh yeah, this side feels completely different. And breathe. Think nice, pleasant thoughts. I find during times like this, it's always nice whenever you have these still moments to not only release and relax, but to just think of things you're really grateful for. Slowly up. And extended staff. Give your hips a little shimmy. Extended staff. Now this is one, years ago I could really do this well. I cannot do this well anymore. And I had told myself I would do it daily. I have not been doing it daily. I should. So you're going to find that I'm not the best example for this, but I get a great benefit from it. So bending your legs so that you've got the shin basically straight across. A couple of ways you can do this. If you're really tight and really stiff, you can take the other leg and just lift the hip up, lift your whole hip up, lean over, and place that foot on the other side of the knee. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try and sit that sit bone down, and you're going to really feel this through the hips. So for those of you, if that's where you want to go, you can just go with that. Okay, if you want to make this a little bit more advanced, you can grab that ankle, place it up on top of the knee. So nice and relaxed. So now what you're trying to do is you're trying to relax this knee down to that foot, which I cannot do. I used to be able to do. And you're going to hinge forward. And we're going to breathe here. And now take inventory of where the tension is. And it's these positions, I mean, it's this stretch I should really be going back and visiting. Because this is, I know that I have issues with my hips. And this is telling me, yes, you have issues with your hips. So, hip help, as I've discovered as I get older, and release, and extended staff should be really nice to come into extended staff here. As I get older, I find that my hip health has become much, much more important. So we're going to go with the other leg. So, I've been doing a lot more with my hips. My hips are so much better. I did an eccentrics, the chair hip video. Well, most of it was hips. And this is level 1, right here, just trying to push it back, push that sit bone down, nice and tall through the torso, okay, or level 2. Bring it on top and hinging forward. So that chair version that I just did in eccentrics that you guys got, it's for hip help, man oh man, it's really something. But also for this, as a runner, I find that this hip opening exercises, these are like the best. These are my go-to. And they don't take that long. If you come back in from a run or from a good walk, you don't have to do the warm-up or the awakening series that we just did, which is also one of my favorite movements. You can just go right into this. Okay. And making sure I'm talking through this, but really try and set yourself into these movements and breathe and release, because it's all about getting the body to calm, relax, and let go. So the more tension you're thinking of when you're doing these, the less effective it's going to be. So now just bring the knees in with your hands and just open the legs up in a V. Now, some of you are going to, I do not do a big V. My hips are really tight. So I'm trying to lift yourself up and picture hips forward with this versus you don't want to be sagging back. So if you find that you can't do this and lift up, you may want to put a block or a bolster under your hips. So it's going to allow you to hinge forward a little easier. So you have the option of sort of stopping this now, getting a bolster and seeing if this helps. And if your legs are here, that's great. I've had days when my legs are here. If your legs are like out there, that's great too. So where you're finding that you're getting that tension, you're probably going to feel a little bit in through the adductors, maybe through the low back. So keeping the spine nice and straight. Just going to walk forward a little bit. So for people like me that are not very flexible, I've been teaching yoga for a long time and I'm not flexible. When I teach it regularly, I'm a lot better. But I always will have these sort of limitations that I'm just not going to be that pretzel type of person. And that's okay, because I probably benefit from this as much or more than the person who can lay their chest down on the floor. So now let's take the hand over to the leg, bring the other arm over top of the ear, and try and bring it over the ear, bring it down. And now using that hand on the leg, try and open that elbow up towards the ceiling. Relax the elbow down. And now rotate so your chest is towards the thigh, and just move yourself forward here. Walk it around. Ankle to, or hand to ankle, arm over the ear. So you're feeling this nice long line. It's nice stretch through the waist, through the ribs, and elbow up towards the ceiling. And then hands on the shin. If you want to hold any of these, if you find that you've got one of these that you really need to hold longer, you just hold it. You can stop the video or just let me keep carrying on, and you make sure that you're taking care of you. Slowly walk center. Again, trying to push the small of the back forward. Slowly walk it back. Grab behind the knees. Bring the soles of the feet together. Nearly there. Good job. Now, nice and tall through the torso, and drop the knees towards the floor. So you can place your elbows against the inside of your legs if you want, just to give them a little bit of help. Not too much. Remember, these adductor muscles don't like to be manhandled. You'll know that if you ever pull one. Now place your hands behind your hips. Lift your hips up, scooch them forward, drop the knees down towards the mat, and lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Let it go. Release. Extended staff. Extend. This should feel really nice on the spine with this extended staff now. And release. Cross your legs your favorite way, and now come forward, and hopefully you're going to see what a difference this has made to your hips. Hold it here and breathe. So what I love about this hip sequence is you get this sort of immediate feedback as to how much you've benefited from it, what you get from it. Slowly bring it back up. I'm just going to change our music a little bit. We're going to do some breathing. So this is brainwaves at rest. So you can dim your lights, or if you're comfortable with your lights on, that's fine. You can sit with your knees crossed, your legs out in front, whichever is comfortable for you. We're just going to be here for a minute or so. Just placing your hands on your knees, and you can even take your index finger and your thumb together if that sort of gives you that better circle of energy. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears, and deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, release. Drawing through the nose. Allowing the lungs to fully fill up. And as you exhale, let the chest relax, let the shoulders relax. Let the hands relax. Notice you're still carrying tension in the fingers. Let them go. And this time as you breathe in everything good. And as you exhale, exhale all the bad stuff. Breathing in, strength, courage, resistance. Exhale, stress. Exhale, tension. And exhale, pain. And you. Exhale. And a couple of nice, big cleansing breaths on your own, making note of what's going on in your head, the ticker tapes or the chatter, or the busyness in your mind, the lists, the worries. As you breathe, clear your mind. Focus just on your breath. Two more breaths. And with your last breath, think calm. Slowly opening your eyes, coming back. Thank you for joining me, my friends. Thank you. Namaste. The light in me sees and recognizes the light in you.